Since we've received a lot of information about upcoming banners over the past few weeks, in this video, let's talk about the banners from versions 5.2 to 5.5. These banners will include the release of Mavuka, reruns of popular characters, and the next Chronicled Wish, which may arrive as early as version 5.3. I'll also go over the approximate number of free pulls you can expect as a free-to-play player in each version, so let's get started. Now, I want to point out that the info I'm sharing is largely based on rumors and my own speculations. While some details come from credible sources, like the release order of new characters, it's important to remember that things can change before the official announcements. So, keep in mind that this information might evolve as we get closer to the updates. Let's start with the 5.2 banners. The release date for 5.2 is set for November 20th, with a special program on November 8th, where they'll likely reveal more details about the banners, events, and provide us with 3 codes to redeem 300 Primogems, which I'll post immediately on my channel, so make sure to subscribe and not miss them. For the first phase, we expect Chaska and Liney to be the featured characters. Alongside them, we may also see the 4-star character Ororon, who will likely appear in this phase. While there might not be a ton of hype for these characters, the second phase is where most players' attention will shift. In the second phase, we'll see Neuvillette and Zhongli, 2 fan-favorite characters who are sure to draw a lot of interest. It'll be a tough decision for those saving their Primogems, especially with Mavuka's release in the next version. So, make sure to plan your pulls wisely. Now, let's talk about the free pulls available in version 5.2. For free-to-play players, you can expect around 74 free pulls from events, quests, and commissions. If you have the Welkin Moon, that number increases to about 100 pulls. Placing Neuvillette and Zhongli right before Mavuka's release is a strategic move by Hoyoverse, so be cautious with how you spend your Primogems. Moving on, let's take a closer look at the 5.3 banners. The update is set to release on January 1, 2025, right at the start of the new year. There's also a special program on December 20th where they'll reveal more about the banner's events and surprises in version 5.3. Be sure to mark your calendar for the live stream, as we'll finally see official Mavuka gameplay. As you know, we're finally getting the highly anticipated release of Mavuka, a pyro character with one of the most unique kits, which includes a motorcycle as part of her abilities. Recently we've received new information about her kit, so let's take a quick look. Her elemental skill lets her throw her weapon and enter Night Soul state with different effects depending on how long you press the skill. A short press changes her weapon into a sun torch that throws fireballs, while a long press transforms her weapon into a motorcycle, which can even turn into a glider while airborne, causing explosions when hitting enemies. Her elemental burst provides Night Soul and grants interrupt resistance, while also boosting team attributes with a flashy rainbow effect. Sounds pretty lit, you can't deny. In addition to Mika, we're getting a second new character, Seatlali. She has an elemental shield as part of her skill, and her burst applies off-field cryo damage. We're still not sure if Seatlali will be a 4-star or 5-star character. If she's a 5-star, Mavuka will likely appear in the first phase of the banners, with Seatlali following in the second phase. Version 5.3 will also feature the Lantern Rite, which is always one of the biggest events in Genshin. We'll also get a new Yelan skin and the Liyue Chronicled Wish. As I mentioned in previous videos, we could see limited characters like Xiao Ganyu and Yelan. For standard characters, we're likely to see Chi-Chi and Catching. I've seen some people disagreeing about Yelan appearing in the 5.3 Chronicled Wish, given that her last rerun was in version 4.8. However, similar things have happened before, like with Xiao, who reran in 2.8 and then appeared again in 3.2 only 2 patches later, so it's not impossible for Yelan to show up again, especially given her popularity and the fact that she'll be getting a new skin in 5.3. For reruns, we might see Zanyan return, as she hasn't had one yet. If Seatlali is a 4-star, we could also get a strong character rerun in the second phase, likely Arlecchino. Alternatively, there's a chance for a Ryathusli or Shinha rerun, depending on how the banners are structured. Also, Madame Ping's playable model will appear, but her release will be in the next version. Now let's take a look at the free pulls available in version 5.3. For free-to-play players, you can expect around 80 free pulls from events, quests, and daily commissions. If you have the Welkin Moon, that number increases to around 110 pulls. Since Lantern Rite will be part of this update, there's a good chance we'll get even more free Primogems, making this an ideal time to save up and plan your polls for Mavuka Seat Lolly or any rerun character you're hoping for. Next, let's talk about the 5.4 banners. This update is set to release on February 12, 2025 based on character IDs. The next new character we expect is Ianson, though we don't have any information on her kit yet. Excitingly, we'll also finally see Madame Ping. As a playable character, she's expected to be a 5-star polearm user, but we don't have much info on her abilities. Yet as for reruns, we might see Venti and Clorand return, and if Ryathusly doesn't rerun in 5.3, there's a good chance we'll see him in 5.4. You've probably noticed that Genshin has a bit of a rerun issue. There's just not enough space for all the characters. I wonder why Hoyoverse doesn't add a third banner. Even in Star Rail, which has fewer characters, they introduced a third banner in one of its patches, while the Chronicled Wish in 5.3 helps. It still doesn't seem like enough with so many characters waiting for reruns. Finally, let's talk about 5.5. We're likely getting a new 5-star Electro character referred to as Prison Girl, rumored to be connected to the Fortress of Maripi. She uses a whip in her kit, which sounds pretty unique for Genshin. There's also speculation about another new character, Ifa, a tall male who might be a 4-star, though there's a chance he could be bumped up to a 5-star. Players are pushing for Ororam to be a 5-star, which might influence the developer decision for Ifa. For reruns, we could see the first Natlan character rerun with either Molani or Kinich making a return alongside a rerun of Farina. Lastly, I want you to keep in mind that there is no playable Harbinger in Natlan arc, so if you are waiting for Capitano or Columbina, then you have to wait for Sneznaya to get them. As you can see, the banners look very exciting. Personally, I'm aiming for Mavuka since she's the Pyro Archon, so she's bound to be strong, but I'm also tempted to try my luck on the Prison Girls banner. I liked her design even before Fontaine's release, so I'm really looking forward to her banner. What character are you planning to pull? Let me know in the comments.